Welcome to a Last Token Gaming Let's Play. I'm Sean, and today I'm joined by Sean Colombo, founder of BlueLine Games. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
Yeah, and we're also playing the game Hive, which that was a Xbox indie games game first, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Just to ask, what got you started in game development in the first place?
I guess it's one of those things that I always kind of wanted to do deep down and didn't realize I would eventually do. So I started playing games, and that's what got me into computers to begin with back in like 7th grade. I was pretty late to the game, but, you know, hit it hard. And then...
Good time to start.
Yeah. And then I just started, when I was learning programming, I started making games kind of for fun. I made Tic-Tac-Toe was my first one that I ever finished, I think. Oh, yeah? And like Roulette. Yeah, I made AI for Tic-Tac-Toe, which, I mean, it didn't occur to me until this year that I was doing board games with AI from the beginning. And I just kept doing like little side projects that ended up being games over the years, and I never thought I'd be programming games. I thought I'd be doing other kinds of programming because the game industry is so tough. But eventually, I stopped fighting it.
Just had to give in, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? It's what I've always wanted to do. I might as well just do it, even if it's hard. Like, we'll find out if it'll work.
Yeah, so. It's a fun thing to do. Just out of curiosity, what was your first programming language?
Technically, I think it's called TI Basic on the calculator.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, we had those little calculators, and then from there I learned HTML and Pascal around the same time, but didn't use them very much. My first serious language was probably C++.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to read a book of that myself instead of doing homework. But enough about me. So, what did where does the game Hive come from, anyways? So
it's actually just it's a real tabletop game that was designed out in the UK about probably about a decade ago. I keep blanking on the exact year, but it's been growing in popularity, and just every year since then, and it has a big cult following.
Really?
So yeah, and I mean it's getting bigger every year. So when I found out about it, and I found out it was a Mensa Select Award winner, I figured it'd be a great game to make a version of, and because it has a lot of depth, I could keep like selling it for years to come, and hopefully, you know, it'll stay popular. So that's kind of the goal, because I mean, board games in general, the audience isn't enormous for them, so it's a bit of a niche that hopefully, you know, we can really corner. And
hopefully.
But if the games have a lot of replay value, then it won't matter necessarily that the market's so small, because eventually, you know, the sales should add up, and we'll see if that plan works out.
Yeah, I hope so. Board games have been kind of climbing up as of recently. At least it looks like it has.
Yeah, it certainly feels like it.
With a lot of other ones popping up.
Yeah.
And man, darn you and your good moves. I clearly didn't practice enough before this. Yeah, for those who don't already know about this game, the main objective is to basically set down tiles and then move each piece to kind of surround the queen bee of the other players. I'm getting this right, aren't I?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and each piece has a unique move. A unique move that each of them can do, or a set amount of, I don't know, what am I saying? The ant can move a lot, but the other ones can only move so much on their own, but have special abilities like jumping over things, and things like that.
Not like chess in that regard.
Yeah.
Like, the king can't move very far, and similarly, the queen only moves one at a time, and the ant can move all around the hive, but the spider can move exactly 3 spaces, which is kind of like a knight in a way. Knights have to move exactly 3 in that pattern that they do. Except
you're not on a board, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Instead, you're kind of using the pieces together. Now, if I remember right, you can't move a piece if it doesn't have a well, Yeah, if it doesn't have anything next to it, you can't move it, right? Unless it has a special ability for it.
I guess another way to put that is they have to make sure that the whole board stays as one hive. Like everything has to stay connected. So that the grasshopper you have that's between your beetle and your other grasshopper, he's kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
Because if he were to move, he would break the hive in half.
Yeah, but if I had him at the very end, he could still jump over. Can they jump over everything or just one at a time?
They can jump over everything in a straight line.
Oh, yeah, so if I was blocked up in a corner, I'd still have a move.
Mm-hmm.
That's very nice. Could you tell me a bit about the DLC?
Yeah, so there's we made the DLC just parallel to the physical tabletop game as much as we could. So there's 3 expansions that came out over the years: a ladybug, a mosquito, and a pillbug. And the pillbug actually just came out at the Essen. I guess it's called a Spiel, but the game conference basically in Germany this October. And those 3 expansions, they have special moves, and the way we did it is we want it to be parallel to like taking a game and going to your friends to play it. So if you buy the game, they're the expansion, and then you play someone else, one of your friends, and they don't have the expansion yet, they still get to play with that piece while they're playing you. Because it's the same as if you had bought, a package of the 2 ladybugs. You go over to your friend's house and you take them with you, and then you both play with them. So
that's always nice with video game adaptions. I find personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it's good of you to add that. Yeah. It'd be a pain if you had to, like some older games where you have to each have the same DLC, otherwise you don't get to do anything.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
Yeah.
The point of games is fun, so I wouldn't. It'd be annoying to go out of our way to be less fun.
Yeah. So what does the there's like a pillbug and you said ladybug? What exactly do those do? Do they each have their own unique moves, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really fun. I mean, it takes them years and thousands of hours of playtesting, like literally thousands to make each of these expansions. But the ladybug is probably the most simple. It moves one move to get on top of the hive, kind of like the beetles are sitting on top of the hive there, and then it moves two more hops on top of the hive, and then one more down off of it.
Hop right there.
Yeah, so it's 1 up, 2 over, and then 1 down. So it's pretty good at attacking because it can get next to a queen very quickly. You basically just place it, and then you can drop it right next to the queen on the next move. And it's still the most straightforward. The other 2 are a little more, I guess, devious, you could say. The mosquito is kind of like sort of how a real mosquito draws blood. The mosquito expansion, it stings whatever it's next to, it takes its power, and then uses that. So if you have a mosquito that's sitting next to an ant or a grasshopper, it can choose whatever movement ability it wants between those 2. So it can move like the ant or the grasshopper. And then it can even do like a beetle and hop up on top of the hive. And then once it's on top of the hive, it just continues acting like a beetle until it's back down. And then the pillbug, that one's even weirder. So pillbugs can pick up pieces near them. So if you're allowed to pick up a piece, like some pieces are still trapped with that 1 hive rule, but if a piece isn't trapped by the 1 hive rule, the pillbug can pick it up and move it to any other space around itself. And that's its turn. So that becomes really handy on defense. It can even lift a queen out of danger and basically just put it really far away. So that's cool.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it gets really devious, especially if you put a mosquito next to a pillbug. Actually, we could finish up this game and then do a game with all the expansions turned on. I probably should have thought of that, but.
Oh yeah, since you have them, I can play with them if I'm playing against you, right? So.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. I don't have them myself, so. I just have the main games, but yeah, it's very interesting. I probably shouldn't ask, but do you plan or hope to make more DLC in the future, or do you have a set plan right now?
We're probably done with the DLC. I mean, my view on this game is it's supposed to be like kind of a companion to the tabletop thing, and as like close to the real thing as possible. So I'm not planning on making any expansions that aren't made for the actual tabletop game.
So you want to kind of keep it authentic then, huh?
Yeah, yeah, as much as possible. So, um,
Oh, you won.
yeah, here, I'll invite you to a game with. There you go.
All right.
You can see expansions, but yeah. So we probably won't have any other expansions. Like if the board game ends up having more expansion pieces, it usually takes them a couple of years to make them. So since the Pillbug just came out, it would be a while.
So a lot of
We do plan on making expansion or not expansions, but updates to the game. But not like DLC. Just they'd just be free updates.
nothing too major, but
Nah,
generally
just like
you gotta do a lot
just
of
like
playtesting, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, the gameplay is probably pretty well settled now. It's mainly things like we want better online lobbies, and someday we'd like to do asynchronous play, so you could play kind of turn based, even if your opponent's not online at the time.
Oh, kind of like an email version,
Yeah.
kind of like an email chess game or something.
Yeah, like that. So there's a new notification system in Steam, and you could actually use notification system to like tell people, oh, it's your turn now.
Huh.
And then you could, click the notification and it would pop you into the game.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's not used in many games, but it'd be very useful for turn-based games. It's just it's going to take a lot of re-architecting to make that work, because basically we're playing on Steam's servers right now.
Yeah.
So we'd have to rewrite it so that we have our own server, so the game can sit there and stay there even when everyone's exited the game. But we'll get there eventually. We're trying to make a lot of board games all off the same engine, so that we can keep adding features like that, and just over the months, and then all the games will get them. So we're working on our next game right now, Ket, which is like laser chess.
Ooh,
And
I know that one.
yeah, it's fun. And as part of it, we want to we want to add a new online lobby. That's actually what I've been working on today. So that when you're waiting for an online game, you can like chat with the other players and see who's there and stuff. So once that's done for Ket, because it's the same engine for Hive, all we have to do is push out a new build of Hive, and then everyone who has Hive will get the new lobbies.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's fun.
I can't remember how the last time I played a laser kit game. I mean, I think it was a very old one or something like it.
Yeah, there was it had a couple names. So it was originally Deflection, and then there was some kind of trademark collision with that, so they had to change it to Ket. And then Ket 2.0 is they kind of revised the rules and made it a little more portable over the years of like, because after people played it long enough, it's clear like how to tweak the rules. So they made it a little better. And yeah, so we're basically going to be doing the 2.0 version. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's nice to be making a game with like lasers and stuff in it too.
Can't go wrong with lasers, right?
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with those. Let's see here. I've got the pill bug out. I have no idea I'm using it. But
he's waiting there defensively.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's what the Pillbug can do. You can
Yeah. I'm trying to rush you. That's my usual mistake. To trying some of these things.
Yeah,
did I mention I'm bad at board games? Just in general.
Well, yeah, you can. It's easy to get better playing against real humans too. A lot of the time, especially if you use the chat. But because you have a bonus code, right? Like we gave everyone all of our original purchases turned into like double games. So you should have an extra game code, right?
Yeah, I have one. I'm trying to get the rest of my team to jump in on it, but
sweet.
We're working at it. Or I'm not sure what I'll. Well, yeah, I'll probably give it to one of them. I'm not sure yet. But I don't know. What do you think of these digital versions of board games, anyways? You think it's like a good market for them, or kind of dilutes the whole point of a board game in some ways?
I think they're great, actually, because I don't think from what I've seen, they don't really compete at all. They don't cannibalize sales. Both sides help each other. So people who have told me, actually, I mean, just in the process of making Hive, I mean, originally it was an Xbox game, and I tell a lot of people about it, and they'd be like, oh, that's awesome, but I don't have an Xbox, so I'm going to go buy the board game. And Indie Gamer Chick, who was one of the first people to review Hive, She said, I think she's bought dozens of sets now of the physical board game for
wow.
friends. And similarly, like I was just playing someone yesterday, and he said he found out about Hive by just going to a board game store, and he fell in love with the tabletop game, and so he searched for a Steam version. And I think it makes sense too, because they're kind of different things, right? Like if someone comes over to my house, I'm probably not gonna play with them on Steam because I have the physical version. So we're gonna bust out the tiles and play with those. And the tiles actually feel really cool. They're kind of like dominoes, and they're like really heavy, and they make a clacking sound. But like, but at the same time, like, my brothers both live in another state. So if I want to play with family, like, I want to play online. So, and if I'm boring and I want to play by myself, it's a lot easier to play against AI than to just play myself at the tiles.
Oh, definitely. It's like playing tic-tac-toe with yourself. I always lose. I never get it. But
it's tricky. I've played a lot of tic-tac-toe and chess against myself over the years. It's just not fun.
Yeah. But. Yeah. Well, to play online with the real board, you could probably use webcam. Sort of work. Not very well.
I think it would be fantastic someday if I could hook up what's the name of that input sensor? I totally forgot it, but it's kind of like a Kinect. And then you can, if you strap that to like an Oculus and made it so you could physically like use your hand to pick up a virtual piece and move it around, and then superimpose the other person into the shot so it looked like you were sitting across the table from them.
And now we're talking.
That would be awesome. Yeah, if I could go 12 months without any income and just like hack on that for a while, I'd be all over that.
I'd love to see that with pinball, personally. But just board games, though. Heck yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Actually, why haven't we had holograms yet? That would be nice. Yeah, just a hologram one, and you could just go with the. Well, what would be the point then? You already have it on screen. Still be fun though. You could put your hand in the way. And, me and science.
I played an old arcade game that was a hologram of Star Wars. It was like, or maybe it was Indiana Jones. I don't remember. But either way, it was Harrison Ford, and he was standing between two bushes, and all you did is move this trackball and shoot Indians or something.
I know this game. I forgot the name of it, but it was a Sega game, and it had a Indiana Jones looking guy, but he went through time. And if I know the one right, there's it doesn't really have a background. It kind of has this weird sphere glass cover, and what do they call it? A dome, and it had like some kind of mirror set up, and then two little shapes in the sides. And
they were like bushes or something. I don't know. It was really weird, but that was really old. I played that when I was super little, and it was like legit hologram.
Me too. That was an old one. I only played it once, and I died a lot. If it's the same one I'm thinking of, they actually have it on DVD. Which is interesting. I think it's actually online, but I can't remember the name. It's like Time Something Adventure. It was done by Sega. I don't think it's too hard to find it. And I think they did a few other hologram ones, like an actual fighting game, but I may be off there. I'll try to. I'm so gonna lose. I'm definitely dying here. I'm not really planning ahead.
I had to play this for. It took us 30 months from when we started making the game until we got the Steam release out. So I spent a lot of time playing Hive.
It's good to hear you did a lot of playtesting.
Yeah, especially for the AI. Like, because the game's been out for a while, the community's starting to get like really, really good at it. So one of the world champions was actually helping us review the AI. Actually, not two of them. 2011 champion Ingersoll. And he wrote a strategy book. So if you go into the credits, you can get a discount on his strategy book.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. And then now the guy who just won this year, he started to help out too.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, super helpful, the community, but just I guess it put the bar higher. Like the AI had to be a lot better than it initially was. So we did so many iterations on that, and it's a beast. It's a lot more complex than chess, as it turns out. it's simple to learn, but the just the sheer number of moves you can have makes it a lot more difficult for a computer.
Yeah, just having those extra pieces, it already looks a lot bigger than the last game we just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw the game, I thought it was actually a original board game, and I love seeing original video game board games that haven't been an actual board game yet.
Hmm.
But that's pretty cool that it has such a large well, I would say history, but I didn't ask about the history yet.
Hmm. Yeah. It's a good following. I mean, I don't know too much of the history, just other than it was made and it grew, and then the expansions all came out. I think they were all released at Essen at different years.
Huh.
Essen's like it's probably the biggest board game thing in the world, in Germany. So, because I mean the game's from the UK, so UK is not too far away from Essen. So I don't think. The creator Johnny Yanni probably doesn't come to Gen Con too much, which is the biggest American board game thing.
Yeah.
But,
well. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that guy's brilliant though. I mean it's got to be hard to make a game like this and just.
Oh, just kind of out of the blue, and then you'd have to constantly test it with friends who have a lot of patience.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's got I mean. That's the tough thing about being a board game designer. These people have to be one of the best in the world at their game, or he wouldn't even be able to make the expansions, So.
Yeah.
And that gets harder and harder every year.
Yeah. So again, about the DLC, these are actual pieces that the board game has, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're not add-ons or anything. They're just authentic expansions.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a big community on the website Board Game Geek of people who try to think of their own expansions. And it's kind of like a hobby for some people. They really like just thinking of different ideas. There's like a dragonfly and a tick and a rhino beetle or something. But
I think that's what they're called.
Yeah, so some people have asked for me to add an ability to make people able to make their own pieces. That's a bit tricky. Especially, because they're all really weird. Like the pill bug, I had to recode every piece to make it work with a pill bug.
Playtesting and all.
Yeah, and just, the way the logic works for all the pieces. Like, the pill bug has to... So, for instance, the pill bug can't move the last piece that was moved, so then the game needed memory. It didn't have memory before that. Like, you could just walk away from the game, and all you needed to know is whose turn it was when you came back. But now you need to know, what the last piece moved was and things like that. So it changed the whole structure of things. And then the mosquito has to be able to act like any other piece, so I had to change the way all the pieces' logic worked so that the mosquito could pretend to be them. Things like that. So it's not easy for me to make it so that people can make their own pieces, but...
Yeah, sometimes it's surprising how much work goes into such a simple game sometimes. Or,
yeah.
Well, it's not that simple, I guess, but the game itself.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty complex right now. If it wasn't for those colors, I wouldn't know where I was.
You can, if you press F2, you can cycle through the tile sets. And there's one that's black and white. Yeah. So the flat ones, those look exactly like the tiles you get in the almost exactly like the tiles you get in the game. They should be the right measurements too. Like one of the champs was playing this, and it really bugged him that we had the tiles too flat. He's like, "This annoys me so much because I'm
Wow.
sitting at the right height." I'm like, "Is that off?" And I'd been playing this for like a year and a half at this point, and I'm like, "No, it looks maybe it's off." So we measured it, and then we changed it to the right size, which is almost twice as big. And now I can't play the other way. So we have screenshots of the Xbox version when it was the tiles were thinner, and now that drives me nuts. It looks so off. But.
Yeah, I guess you couldn't say that the weight doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I like it with the 3D bugs on top.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm playing right now.
Yeah. So there's no actual physical one with models of bugs on top of it.
No, there isn't one of those. But that was an idea that came from the guy who made the board game. So I'm like, all right, if he thinks that's cool, then I'm down. So it was. We just colorized them. So those are scientific insect models. We bought them from a place that just has a bunch of 3D models. Because our budget's kind of,
Budget's kind of low. That's what it means to be indie, after all.
Yeah. So
If you got too much of a budget, you're not indie anymore.
So we just bought them, and then we colorized them to be like the beetle, for example, is very purple, and the ant is very blue, and that's obviously not what those look like in real life. And then the spider, we tried to make the spider a little less gross, so we made him a little thicker. A lot of people were complaining the spider was too gross.
Really?
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, we have a couple people who played this game who are just like really into insects, and which is kind of cool. But then we also had some people who were like really afraid of spiders, always complaining about that. So that was one of the reasons that we made the alternate modes, so you could go back to the flat tiles.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to be able to see the spiders. And it seems like that's the only insect that people really have a huge problem with. At least enough that they've mentioned to me. Like, people don't seem grossed out by ants as much, or grasshoppers.
Ants and grasshoppers seem okay, though. Grasshoppers are sometimes kind of gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there was another game, System Shock 2, that actually had a mod to remove the spiders. And I think there's one in, yeah, I think they did one. Someone did one in Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and they changed all the spiders to bears. So they're very weird looking, weird walking bears.
Yeah, I mean, people really don't like those things. I don't know why.
I guess so. I don't like spiders too much.
There's another one.
I don't mind tarantulas though, oddly enough. But the smaller, kind of pointy ones, I guess. I guess that's what you were saying. Like, you made it thicker so the legs didn't look all thin and creepy looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what the part that makes your skin crawl, doesn't it? The whole kind of this little stick thing that can walk.
Yeah, and it looks like it'll crawl on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're not even worried about it biting you or anything. It's just those legs.
Yeah.
And they itch too. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people requested making the insects move.
Oh gosh, no.
I think that creeped people out a lot. But
I mean, you should do that, but no.
yeah, we'd have to put a setting like turn off gross mode.
Yeah, like an optional mode you can add on later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to admit, though, I do love mods in games, though. Like, it would be fun to change all the bugs to dinosaurs or something.
That would be cool. I mean, Steam Workshop might even make that possible. But, well,
yeah.
And that's another thing that we could add in a later game, too. Is like, upgrade the engine to make it so that all of our games could be Steam Workshopable.
Yeah, I certainly love to see those. I love that we're building a much bigger mod community these days.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you enjoy mods for other games?
I've played them. I don't know. I kind of don't know where to stop with them. So, like, I guess my first experience with them was Red Alert. This old real-time strategy game, and there are all these mods for these little extra like vehicles and stuff you could get. And eventually, I just turned them all on because I didn't know, like, I don't know. I have no way of judging where the best balance is. So, because, like, I wasn't about to do playtesting. I was, like, in 8th grade or whatever. And, like, I'm like, okay, nuke trucks. Now we have nukes that we can put in trucks and drive around the board. And I don't know, eventually it got crazy. So I've gone back to the base set. And it took me a long time to play with the expansions for Hive because I'm just like, well, I know the core game is so awesome. I don't want to mess with it. Like, what if the expansions aren't good? And then we were developing the pill bug, and I started actually playing with it. I'm like, okay, this one's actually really cool. So now I usually do play with the pill bug. And then I started making the other expansions. Like, okay, these are cool too. So now, like, I'll play pretty much anyway with Hive. But in general, I don't. I mean, some of the Skyrim mods are absolutely hilarious. And like the Randy Savage one, where the dragon became Macho Man. That's freaking awesome.
Those are funny, yeah. Yeah, that's what you need for this one, a Randy Savage mod.
Yeah.
Every time you move a piece, it'll say, "Oh yeah." But well, I'm running out of little time. I think you're being merciful here, aren't you?
A little bit.
With this piece up here, you could just move it and get me at any time.
True, but it's technically your turn, and you can get me at any time.
Oh, is it my turn? Am I the one not moving?
Yep.
Oh. I win! And I got all the achievements I didn't get before.
Nice.
You let me win, though.
Maybe.
Because you could have easily got me. Yeah, just to wrap things up, is there anything you want to say? Any plugs for anything, or any of that?
Just buy my game and try to follow us on Twitter at BlueLine Games, or Facebook at just facebook.com/BlueLine Games, because we'll be coming out with a lot more board games this year. We have Ket 2.0, which is like laser chess. That's coming out probably early October. And then we have another one that we can't announce yet because we're still working on the license, but it would be the most popular game we've ever done. And then that would be coming out probably also before Christmas, because we're mostly done with it.
Well, certainly had to keep an eye out for it. I want to thank you again for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Sean.
Yeah, and of course, tune back to more Last Token Gaming over on YouTube and our website, lasttokengaming.com. We'll have more reviews, more Let's Plays and everything, so keep an eye on us. And, of course, be sure to check out Hive on Steam. We'll see you guys next game, and thanks again for joining me, Sean.
Thank you.
Yep.